So in this video, we're just going to create a depth of field effect to our render. This will enhance your rendering your scenes in 3ds Max and make your portfolio look good. So we're going to create, go down here to camera, click on physical camera and click and drag it over the first Lego man. Once we've done that, right click to stop spawning cameras, or just right click to stop spawning cameras. We'll change this to default shader. This viewport to the camera 1. And we'll just move it around so we move the camera around in the scene so we get a better view of it. So you can click on the camera settings, the cameras here to move their position around. Just move the camera in a little bit closer. Around here will do. So once we've done that, we want to change our render setup. So we want the active mode or Arnold, and we want physical camera. Make sure it's locked as well. Once you've done that, and we need to press 8 on the keyboard to get our environment and effects settings up. Press M. So we're going to create a environment like this way around. So we need to go right click in this mode. If you're on, just close this down. If you're on here, if you get this message, just click close. It's just a error message because some materials are in the standard mode. So we click on here and we want to use the slate materials. So we go on map, right click in this area and click on map, this, map, general and bitmap. And as soon as you've done that, it will take you to your file directly. You need to locate this file here, EXR, which is done by a 360 camera to create this environment light, or skybox. We open, OK it, and we've got this bitmap here. So whilst we've got us here, so as we've got this environment and effects open, we just need to right click and drag this all the way to here into the environment map. Okay, and then we just create our environment map. Once we've done that, we just want to hit render, see what we're doing. Okay, let's continue this, and it will start creating a render for your scene. Don't need these open at all. We just need to have this active mode open. So as we've got the camera selected in our scene, like so, we can go and modify. Once we click on modify, we can modify the camera's stuff as well. So as you come in, you've got quite a lot of tools to play around with. So we just want to focus on our focal length, which is 8.0. This is what we want to play with. So you see on here, we can increase it or decrease it, but won't do too much. So we've got a thing called a little chart here we can use. So as you can see here, we've got a focal lens. So we use this to type a number in. So we've got like these numbers here on top for the focal lens, and this is to translate our shutter speed as well. So I want to pick 11. We can go down here, and we need to type. I want this sort of shutter speed here. We need to type 14. So first, I'll just type 11 in the aperture, and on our shutter speed we want to type in 14. We won't see if it's done yet, so we just need to turn on enable depth of field and enable motion blur. This will create a blurry background, blurs out the background, and you can try it with different settings as well. This may take a bit longer because it's more of a complex way to render out, but once it's done it will come out looking very professionally done. And also we can change things such as light settings here under white balance, so you've got different lights as well to play with. So we can set as daylight, sunset, overcast. We've got totally different ones to play around with. They don't take much time to render, and we can alter the temperature as well in the scene, like so. It's not very hard once you get it in. We can have what main thing you need to do is just play around with these two settings. So we're using this chart here. So if we want to change it around this way around, 64 on the focal length, and we want to go with 15 in the shutter speed, and it will change the image around a bit, so it makes it can make it clearer or blurrier, but it does take a bit of playing around to get used to. As you can see here, once you input the numbers, the target box is changed for the physical camera. So it shows you a visualization on how the camera's working. So if you go higher, it will capture more. The lower you go, it will make the background blurrier. And it's just basically playing around with these options. You've got things like zoom, all this to play with it. And that's how you create depth of field in 3ds Max. If we go back to a different setting here, like here, show you. So we put 1 for focal length and we want 4 in our shutter speed. It will give off a different effect like here. So it will make him more in focus. As you see here on this top view, he's more in focus now. And the background's very blurry, so you can create quite effective different renders with playing around by just doing this with playing around the focal length. And this is how you do it within 3ds Max with Arnold, and it's quite powerful to do so. It does take a bit of time for the computer to render out the image fully, but with this it's very effective. And that's how we create a blurry effect in the background with 3ds Max and Arnold.